Smallholder farmers contribute significantly to Africa's food security by producing approximately 70% of the continent's food supply.
This is an affected area. Wakati wenye nimetoa hivi, ninatoa huyu mdudu.
At least 80% of the farmlands in sub-Saharan Africa are crucial for household and local food systems, though they often face challenges like poverty and limited resources. Smallholder farmers are crucial for Kenya's food security, producing 63% of 78% of the nation's food crops and accounting for 23.5 to 25% of the GDP. They are the backbone of rural livelihoods, and their productivity is key to addressing hunger, even though their yields often lag due to challenges like limited access to resources. However, over time, use of industrial fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides have degraded soil quality, leading to reduced productivity as a result of highly acidic soils. Climate change has also had negative effects on farming across the continent, despite Africa contributing minimally to the global emissions. Reduced yields, poor weather patterns, drought are some of the challenges African farmers have to grapple with. Are there solutions to fix these challenges? At a biological factory in central Kenya, production of biochar, an organic soil fixer, is ongoing. Help smallholder farmers to heal their soils, thus increasing yields.
So what we do at Biological is we fight climate change on a global scale whilst also supporting Kenyan smallholder farmers to build their climate resilience. So as you probably know, Kenyan farmers are some of the worst affected people in the world when it comes to climate change, despite having nothing to do with the climate crisis. So how we do that is through something called biochar carbon removal. How biochar carbon removal works is we take waste biomass. So at this site here, we take that specifically from waste wood, from eucalyptus processing, also avocado waste from oil production as well. Obviously, as those things grow, they absorb carbon and store carbon through photosynthesis. What we do at Biological is we take that carbon and we put it through our process here, a pyrolysis process, turning it into a stable form of carbon called biochar. Essentially what that does is it locks up the carbon that exists in the biomass for up to 1,000 years. We then take that they take that biochar and we mix it with our fertilizer that we make on site. We then sell that to smallholder farmers at a subsidized rate. We start by aggregating waste from a number of suppliers in the area. So we work with companies all around the Mount Kenya region that produce waste. So that's step one. Step two is we take that waste and we put it into our kilns here. So each kiln can take 1 ton of biomass. We load that from the top, and then we heat from underneath to about 350 degrees, at which stage gases are given off from the biomass, predominantly carbon monoxide and methane, which we use to heat the process. So it's a continuous process that's heated. That cycle takes about 10 hours. Once that cycle's done, we remove the biochar, we quench it in water. We do that for 2 reasons. One is to cool it down, it's very hot obviously, and secondly that improves the porosity and the surface area of the product, which makes it better for soil application. Once that's been done, after 10 hours, we remove it, we put it through a crusher that we have on site. We then blend it with a compost blend that we have, to produce our end product, our fertilizer.
Biochar benefits soil fertility by increasing water and nutrients retention, improving soil structure, and supporting beneficial microbial life.
Before, about 20-30 years ago, one could go to a farm, in the process of cultivation, you will see some worms in the soil. Unfortunately, those worms nowadays are not there. Why? Because we have interfered with the ecosystem of the soil, and that is by interfering with what we call the flora, which is the area where bacteria, the good bacteria, and those worms, that's where they thrive. But because of overuse of chemical fertilizers, that ecosystem has been interfered with. Number two, we have overlooked the element of organic matter in our soils. Organic matter provides a very good home for such bacteria and living organisms that are beneficial to both the soil and the crop. So by interfering with that also, lack of organic matter interferes with the soil structure, which in turn leads to depleted soil health and lowers the production of the crop in the long run.
Its porous structure acts like a sponge, holding water and nutrients to be released slowly for the plants, while also neutralizing soil acidity and improving aeration.
Most of our soils in Kenya have a low pH, meaning they are arguably acidic. So by putting in biochar in your soil, you are trying to raise your pH level, thus making minerals or the nutrients in the soil available to an optimum of about 6.5 to 7.5. At that pH scale, all the nutrients required for plant growth are available.
This leads to healthier soils, higher crop yields, and reduced need for commercial fertilizers.
Nutrients such as nitrogen cannot be uptaken without the presence of carbon in the soil. So at times we might pump in a lot of nitrogen and the plant is not responding, but it's because the media that is supposed to ensure that it gets into the system of the plant is not there, that is carbon. Biochar has so many benefits that it introduces to your soil, and at the same time the longevity, like it's able to stay in the ground for, as Rory said earlier, over 1,000 years in the soil, intact in a very, very stable form.
Regenerative and organic farming has proven to be a game changer in fixing African soils that have been degraded over time due to poor land use and use of industrial fertilizers and pesticides. At Kigondoine village in Murang'a County, Beatrice Nyambura, a smallholder farmer who has been using biochar in her farm, gave a testimony of how biochar has improved her yields and soil fertility.
Nimekuwa nikilima maisha yangu yote, lakini asili ni kama mwaka moja hivi, miaka miwili ama mmoja hivi. Na nikalima naye na nikaona ni mzuri, hata hizo mboga mmeziona pale, na huwa naweka hiyo asili. Na nimeona ikiwa nzuri, sababu hata kuharibu shamba haiharibu.
Her 2-acre farm is doing well since she embraced use of organic farming methods to fix the soil.
Kwa natumia mbolea nyingi sana ama fertilizer nyingi sana ndio chakula iwe, na saa zingine inakataa, sababu inatakiwanga kuweko nyingi ndio ufune. Nilikuwa natoa kama 30,000, 28,000, na mbeleni nilikuwa natoa kama 10,000, 8,000, 12 hapo.
Studies show that there is hope for Africa's smallholder farmers as organic farming is taking shape in the continent. However, challenges like the need for proper training on practices like crop rotation and composting and barriers to accessing markets need to be addressed for widespread success. Dan Kaburu, Big 3 Africa in Murang'a County.